The Petersburg's Costume Creep-Athon! 3 costume pairs have been chosen. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, Captain America and Bucky Barnes, Thor and Loki. Today's costume is Captain America's suit.
Hey, what's up everyone? I am Phineas Peters of the Peters Bros and welcome to Costume Creep-Athon 2017. Today I will be making Captain America's Age of Ultron suit. That is right, the Star-Spangled Man himself. One thing that we will not be making today is Captain America's shield. You can go check out that video where I do make that. The link is in the description box to every Costume Creep-Athon video so far. What we will need is a shirt of some kind. I found this, you could just go to a thrift store, or if you even have an old shirt that you don't really care about that much. Another thing we will need is felt. I have blue felt here, white felt, and red felt. Red, white, and blue, guess what? Without further ado, let's get started on this awesome Captain America costume. I'm actually going to go ahead and try this on real quick. The top of this piece will have to be sort of arched, so I'm going to go ahead and just draw if the pencil will show up. Now we'll fold this in half and draw it on the other side. I'll just hold this up to a light. We have studio lights right here. I'll just use those, why not? And there we go. So now we have a symmetrical arching line. So we're going to draw on where these stripes are going to be. Draw a little line there. That's about how long this will be. Okay, so I traced out all of the shapes that we're going to need, except for one, but that is the exact same shape as this, so I'm just going to cut that out, put it over another piece, and cut it out so that it's the same exact piece. And there we go. This is the midsection of Captain America. Again, I'm just going to draw half of the patterns because it's symmetrical, so we're going to flip it over to the other side. And then we're going to need that red again. So next we're going to make a star and put it in place. So you'll need just a scrap piece of paper and a reference picture of a star. I have scaled this down to be the perfect size. I'll place the piece of paper over the star. Alright, there we have a little star. Okay, so what you'll need next is craft foam. If you don't have this, you could use cardboard, I guess. You could use felt. You could use mostly any material. And the star fits perfectly. I'm going to cut off some material at the bottom of the shirt. There we go. So we definitely have enough material here to cover this. So now I'm going to cut out these pieces that we've traced on here, put them on here, and cut them out of this as well. So now I'm going to take each blue piece and trace it onto this fabric. Okay, so I have assembled all of the pieces and they're on top of these blue pieces of felt. So now that my hot glue gun is nice and warm, if you have one you should plug it in. Make sure you be careful with your glue gun because it does get very hot. Okay, now I am going to cut out this shape. I'm going to go a little bit higher. I have covered up these pink lines here and here with just random scrap pieces of fabric that I will glue down with hot glue, and that's where how I'm attaching all these panels. If you want and have the skill set, you can go ahead and sew this up. I'm going to use hot glue because it's so much easier. I'm going to put this piece, this black, that's just really to cover up things. So I'm going to start with these panels that are covering the pink stripes. Okay, I've applied these panels to the front of the shirt, and now it's time to put the black panel on here, this black piece of fabric. So now we can start attaching these guys. We'll just imagine that it's silver for now. Okay, so this is starting to look like a Captain America costume. There are a couple things, like I just went ahead and cut these panels out because it's a little bit weird, as you can see with the bright blue there. So I just went and gave it a little more authenticity by cutting out these extra scraps from the... I'm dropping things. What the heck? Here we go. By cutting out these little pieces from the scraps that we had and the extra fabric. Okay, so now I have glued on all of these panels, and it looks so much better, I think, personally. I got a bottle of silver acrylic paint and a paint brush. You also might want a little painter's palette. I'm just gonna use the star. It's probably not the best idea, but... Okay, so you probably want to paint the star before you glue it on. That was a big mistake I made. So there's a bit of silver around the edges of the star, which is really annoying me. There was some on the black, but that was okay because I have some black acrylic paint that I just totally was able to blend in to the black fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and rub the black paint into the red fabric because this is so bright and vibrant. Okay, another thing that we're going to have to add is the straps that go over his shoulders, because it holds his shield on his back, and it looks awesome when he does that. So I wanted to make those straps because they are a big part of the costume. That's pretty much one of the only things that stays the same for all of the Captain America suits. So I'm going to use a scrap of cardboard. This is cardboard left over from when we made the shield. I need a ruler, a pencil, and 2 belts. These are the most important parts. Yes, you might have noticed. One is black and one is brown. That's really too bad. But we can paint the black one brown since both of the straps are supposed to be brown. I don't have brown paint. I do have black paint. I can paint this one black and just leave it the sacrifice. But for now, I'm going to leave it. Trust me, it won't be as noticeable when we're wearing it and all the pretty colors will distract. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a straight line. I hope this is straight. I'm using a ruler, so it should be straight. Someone put hot glue on my pencil! What we're making right now, I haven't told you, is the little buckle on the back that connects both of these pieces. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this and changing things as I go. Alright, I have traced on to the cardboard. Now I'll just cut this out. Okay, so I've cut out the basic shape of it, but to get these holes that we're going to thread the belt through, I will need to use an X-Acto knife. Technically in the films, 2 different belt things loop around these, but we're going to thread it through instead. Put this over my shoulders and pull the bottom portions. So I've now connected both of the belts to the buckle in the back, and it's not looking too bad. We have a little Velcro mechanism that will allow us to hang the shield on the back, which will be really awesome. Any reinforcing you want to do to your buckle, go ahead and do that now, because we are about to paint the buckle silver. So I'll just paint this on. Alright, so there are just a few finishing touches that we'll have to add to this jacket. Just a couple more details to add, like the red band around the arm and the little Avengers logo on the shoulder. Okay, so we have 2 shapes that are just sort of totally normal. Stick it on there, and then add one to the other side. So now for the Avengers logo, I'm just gonna find something round. I have this cap here, and Captain America, get it? No, that's not funny. And I'll just trace 2 of these onto a piece of craft foam. Now I'll just cut these out. Alright, so I cut out the letter A twice and hot glued it onto there. Now we are going to make another detail. This is his belt, because Captain America needs to have a belt to hold up his trousers. These really don't have to be anything special. I'm just going to make some craft foam strips and then fold them over. So now I'm going to put this belt on so that I can see where the pouches need to go. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to take a stapler, put some staples in it, and just very carefully not get this on my shirt. There we go. Now, we need to make these look cooler, because right now they look like craft foam stapled to a belt. Okay, so I have this piece of random fabric. It has an interesting texture to it, so I'm going to just cut it up into even segments. Now I'm going to take this piece of a belt that is just left over, and we don't have a use for it, so I'm going to put it to good use now. And that is how I made my Captain America costume, Age of Ultron suit. If you would like to find out how to make this shield, go ahead and click the link in the description box below to find out how to make one of these to go with your outfit. Also, make sure you check out the video where Elliot makes his Bucky Barnes costume and robotic arm, because it's a fun video. There are 2 videos, so yeah, look out for those. The only thing left for me to tell you is how to wear the shield costume. It seems pretty straightforward until I break it down. There's a couple things that I have not mentioned yet. You might be wondering, am I wearing pants? The answer is yes. So I got these navy blue sort of cargo pants at the Army Navy store. There's some really cool stuff there. And for gloves, I found these at a costume store for fairly cheap. They're just pleather motorcycle gloves. The belt just is at the waist, where belts usually go. One other thing is these belt things that go around my shoulders and connect in the back. I added a little attachment so that the shield could be clipped onto the back. This, I had to modify the shield very slightly. I just stuck a little loop of duct tape in the back, and that loops around this little cardboard peg that I made that velcros shut so that your shield does not go flying off when you do your backflips and stuff. So that was one feature that I just wanted to add in to make it look cooler. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe, and don't forget to tell your enemies that we are awesome. You're my friend, Bucky. What was that?
I didn't say anything.
Fight me!